So we begin with a story. The story began on, let me get the exact date, May 1st, 2007. Kevin Rose had no idea what he was about to have, that he was about to have the most interesting day of his life, courtesy of an uprising of his own customers. He began something called DIGG. And I've read the word DIGG, D-I-G-G. I've sort of played with it, but I am an old man who is not techie. And I'm regularly wishing that I were more techie. In fact, recently I was at an event here at the Park City Club. Where's Jim Young? Jim, where are you? And Jim, I had just gotten my new iPhone, and Jim said, "Have you seen Shazam?" And not only had I never seen it, I'd never heard of it. So I downloaded or uploaded or got Shazam. And you're driving in your car and a song comes on. And you've never heard the song, or you know it but you don't remember the name. You put Shazam in front of the speaker and it tells you the singer and the name of the song. And if you push the right buttons, you can order it through your iTunes and get it in your iPhone. And Jim is a little bit older than I am, and he's more tech-friendly than I am, and that makes me sick at my stomach. So anyway, I don't know exactly what this DIGG is. But here's what happened. Somebody had posted on a blog the secret code to break the code for some DVD protection thing. And DIGG, people vote on it, and it gets up to the top of the list, and before you know it, he's got the secret code at the top of his list. And now everybody who is techie friendly is reading the secret code, and they're breaking the code. And he has to take it down because of legal threats. And by the end of the day, so many people had put it on their own website, furious at him for taking it down, that he had to put it back up and said, "I give up, sue me if you want to." That's the Groundswell. Take a look at your handout, look at the title of the book, Groundswell, Winning in a World Transformed by Social Technologies. And I want to comment that when I did this handout, my spell check feature was having difficulty. There were so many words and so many acrostics and acronyms that my computer did not recognize that I just gave up. So there's no telling what's spelled correctly and what's spelled incorrectly. I'm overstating a little, but not much. As usual, I like to read you some of the quotes. Look at the first quote in the handout. Thousands of corporate executives are now dealing with a trend we call the groundswell. A spontaneous movement of people using online tools to connect, take charge of their own experience, and get what they need. Information, support, ideas, products, bargaining power from each other. The groundswell is broad, ever-shifting, ever-growing. It encompasses blogs, wikis, podcasts, YouTube, consumers who rate products, buy and sell from each other, write their own news, find their own deals. It's global, it's unstoppable, it affects every industry, those that sell to customers, those that sell to businesses, in media, retail, financial services, technology, healthcare, and it's utterly, this is worth underlining, it's utterly foreign to the powerful companies and institutions and their leaderships that run things now. Simply put, the groundswell is a social trend in which people use technologies to get the things they need from each other instead of from companies. If you're in a company, this is a challenge. It's not a flash in the pan. The technologies that make it work are evolving at an ever-increasing pace, but the phenomenon itself is based on people acting on their eternal desire to connect. It has created a permanent, long-lasting shift in the way the world works. This book exists to help companies deal with the trend, regardless of how the individual technology pieces change. We call this groundswell thinking. Now, I want you to just kind of think back a minute. It is really astonishing. It was only 14 years ago that Netscape came online. Tom Friedman wrote that, The World is Flat. He talked about how that was one of the 10 world flatteners. 14 years ago, we had our first websites. It's amazing that it was that recent. And imagine any company today having a website that looks exactly like the website in 1994. They'd go broke in a flash. It wouldn't work. And it's changing faster than we can keep up with. Let me keep reading. People on the internet showed they were in charge. Any individual can be stopped, co-opted, bought off, or sued. But the internet allows people to draw strength from each other. Blogs, sites like dig.com, and the internet in general allowed them to connect to each other, to feel unafraid, to be powerful. The online world swamped the offline world. The internet is not some sandbox that can be walled off anymore. It is fully integrated into all elements of business and society. The roots of the groundswell reach way back before MySpace, way back within the last 14 years. On eBay, you buy from other people instead of a store. Craigslist lets you find a job or a babysitter without searching through newspaper want ads. Let's just think about this simple reality. 20 years ago, if you needed a job, you went to a physical newspaper and opened the classifieds. Newspapers are going broke because nobody is reading classifieds anymore. Because classifieds are now free and better and more searchable and more accessible and more changeable, all through the free Craigslist. It's really astonishing. So Craigslist lets you find a job or a babysitter without searching through newspaper want ads. Linux is an operation system created by engineers working together rather than depending on Microsoft. Rotten Tomatoes lets you make movie-going decisions based on reviews from other people. BitTorrent helps people get music from each other without going to a music store like Napster did in 2000. Compared to the way things were in 2000, though, the trend of people connecting with and depending on each other online is clearly accelerating. That's why now is the time to understand the groundswell, where it comes from and where it's going. The groundswell comes from the collision of three forces: people, technology, and economics. These three trends, people's desire to connect, new interactive technologies, and online economics, have created a new era. Not only is it here, it's evolving rapidly, creating an incredible challenge for corporate strategists. It is absolutely a nightmare to people. Drop down to the second part of the next quote. Think of groundswell thinking as jujitsu, a Japanese martial art that enables you to harness the power of your opponent for your own advantage. This book is a jujitsu manual for managers. People are going to be writing each other, posting each other's blogs, spreading the word far and wide. You better get on board rather than say, I wish the world wasn't that way, because it is that way. It is that way. Look at the next quote. The technologies change rapidly. Technologies are not the point. The forces at work are the point. Here's the principle for mastering the groundswell. Concentrate on the relationships, not the technologies. Let me